Welcome to the Pressley Road Park renovation presentation. I'm Katie Daughtry. I'm a planner with Park and Recreation, and Pressley Road is one of my projects. So we're here today to talk about the existing conditions of Pressley Road Park and the future plans for renovation. So Pressley Road Park is a 6-acre park in the Clinton Park neighborhood. It is in the middle of two dead-end streets. Pressley Road dead ends into the park from the south, and Manchester Drive, which is off of Clanton Road, dead ends into the park on the north side. And then there's a creek that runs through the middle. Currently, the park doesn't really have a ton of amenities. There's a playground and some benches and an old bridge that helps to provide that connection between the two neighborhoods. But outside of that, there's really not much else there. There may have been at one point in time, but over the years, things have either been removed or forgotten about, possibly. I'm not really sure, but again, there's not a lot there now. So, as an organization, we recognize that this is not what we would consider a good park. This is something that needs some love and attention, and that's kind of why we're here. So kind of what spurred this whole idea of going back and making major investments in our existing parks was our Park and Recreation Master Plan that was adopted by the Board of County Commissioners in December of 2021. That master plan, called MEC Playbook, did something kind of unique that hadn't been done in any of our previous master plans, which is the consulting group that we hired for that work went out and laid eyes on every single park and recreation facility in the county, and then gave them a score on a letter grade score, A through F, based on what they saw. So A was, of course, excellent parks. F would be things that were a little less successful, I suppose. So those scores were then grouped, and B and F parks were identified as Tier 1 or high priority reinvestment projects. So what this meant was, these are the projects that need immediate attention. They are lacking for different reasons in most cases, and we would then try to figure out a way to start funding these renovation projects over our capital improvement plan. So as you can see, Pressley Road there was one of the parks identified as a D or F park. So the capital improvement plan that was adopted last June is for FY24 through FY28. And for those of you that aren't familiar with government lingo, fiscal years are funded from July 1 to June 30th of every year. And so that means that we're currently in the fiscal year 2024 funding cycle. But our projects are identified over a 5-year cycle. So Pressley Road, luckily, was funded first in this first fiscal year. And it was funded at $3.1 million. Now, we anticipate that of that funding, about $2 million will be allocated towards construction. And that's for several reasons. We have to pay to have the project designed by a consultant. We have to have surveys. We have to have permitting, like our floodplain development permit for the bridge. And then we also provide certain things ourselves, like the site furniture, trash cans, bike racks, grills, etc. So this 5-year capital improvement plan totals at about $437 million. And that equals out to about 36 projects. So the good thing is this plan is a mixture of new amenities and facilities, and reinvestment into some of our existing facilities, because we couldn't only spend money going back and reinvesting. We had to also make new investments, because with Charlotte's growth, the current level of and number of parks that we have are not enough to are not enough for the population that we have. So we need to continue to build new parks as well. So this is kind of what we're calling a concept plan, but it's not really a concept plan for Pressley Road Park. The only thing that Park and Rec knows that must be done out there is the connection from Manchester Drive to Pressley Road. That is such an integral part of this park, because both neighborhoods use it as a way to get back and forth, by walking or biking or what have you. So we know that that's important to maintain, and we understand that as it sits right now, it doesn't feel very safe. It's not accessible. And so we need to do a better job of improving that connection. So our plan is to provide a 10-foot wide accessible connection, and the bridge will be located in a slightly different spot so that it is above the floodplain, meaning that when you're walking through the park, the route that you take today will be slightly different in order to meet all of those requirements. We're also going to do some selective clearing so that we can open up the visibility from one end to the other. That way folks will feel safer as they travel along this route, as well as we're going to add additional and improved lighting. So beyond that, Park and Rec really doesn't have any strong feelings about what needs to be here. We really wanted everything else to be led by the community, and for y'all to tell us what it is you want to see here. It's a neighborhood park, so there are limitations just based on the size and scale of things. But outside of that, we really are looking to y'all for guidance. So here's some ideas for things that could work well here. Obviously, we have the trail connection, the improved bridge, improved lighting, new furnishings. But you could also do some play areas down here, and they could be traditional or they could be a little more out of the box. Outdoor fitness is something that's become very popular with our older population, adults and whatnot, as well as swings or other features. We also tend to see in these neighborhood parks small shelters that have picnic tables under them so that folks can come down from the neighborhood and grill out while their kids play, or have a little, get together. But one of the ideas that we were kind of kicking around that, if the community is interested, we can look into some more, is doing something a little more artistic than our standard shelter, so that we can provide kind of a unique space that really lets you know that this is specifically Pressley Road. This isn't any other park. This is, something different. The QR code that's on this page, as well as the website, is where you can go to complete a survey about these amenities and let us know what it is you want to see. There's also an opportunity on that survey to add anything that maybe we haven't thought of, or something that you just think would work really well here. So the next steps for Pressley Road is we're going to wrap up our engagement, hopefully by the end of the month. We've already had some public engagement back in February at the Amy James Rec Center. We met with the West Boulevard Coalition, and then we're meeting with Clanton Park, the Clanton Park Neighborhood Association, at the end of March. In addition to all of that, this online survey that we would love for you to participate in will be kind of included as part of the public engagement that we've already done. So the next step after all of that is completed is to take all of that information from the online public engagement and the in-person public engagement and figure out what the community's priorities are and figure out how that fits with the budget that we have and what is it that we think we can do here. And from that, we'll develop 2 concepts for the park and publish those online so that the community can provide feedback on those. And what we'll do is, in addition to just kind of voting on those 2 concepts, you can also talk about the things that you really like about one or both of the concepts, because it may be that some sort of combination of the 2 ends up being the best option for this park. And then our hope would be that we would finalize that concept this summer and move into finalizing our construction documents and our permitting so that we can bid out the project sometime this fall. And if all of that goes well, we would hope to start construction either late 2024 or early 2025. Of course, nothing ever works out exactly like we want. So it's important that you continue to stay engaged with the website even after you complete the survey, because that's where we'll be posting all of our updates on the project and including, any changes to the timeline that may occur. Again, I'm Katie Daughtry. I'm the planner for this project with Mecklenburg County Park and Rec. And Gina Straga, who's the project manager for the design and construction portion of the project. Both of our contact information is here. If you have any questions or want to see us come and participate in some community event that you have because you think Pressley Road would be of interest to that group, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to come to any meetings or to provide you with any information that we have to date. And again, I can't stress enough, please go online and fill out the survey so that we have your input into what this park needs to be. It's important that we get as much input as possible so that it's a true reflection of what the community wants to see at Pressley Road. I appreciate your time. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. And I hope to see you or hear from you soon. Thanks.